Like damn, she wanna fuck with a Tachi. I say I own it, and she got it.
What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's get into TNA Impact from August the 1st, 2024. An okay show outside of the closing segment. We'll talk about that when we get to it. We are 4 weeks away until Emergence, and TNA is wasting no time with building that card. It seems like we got a couple of matches that they're building towards. So we'll talk about that. So we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. The Rascals, Zachary Wentz, Trey Miguel, and Wes Lee. They defeated Speedball Mountain, which consists of Mike Bailey, Trent Seven, and Kushida. Fun little six-man tag. I'm loving what the Rascals are doing in both TNA and NXT. It's a fun little partnership. Hopefully, whenever Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel's contracts are up with TNA, hopefully they can jump ship directly over to NXT. That's just me. Moving on. So, Jordynne Grace, she's backstage. She has a little video package. She's praising Ash By Elegance for her hard work, saying she deserved the Knockouts Championship match at Slammiversary. So that's fine, I guess. It seems like they might be setting up a triple threat involving Ash By Elegance, Jordynne Grace, and Rosemary. That's what it seems like. And I'm not a fan of Rosemary. I'm just not. But for whatever reason, TNA still wants to push Rosemary. And I have no idea why. It's just dumb. Moving on. So, backstage, Gia Miller. She had a backstage interview with Campaign Singh for an update on Mustafa Ali. Singh tells Gia that he's determined to prove his loyalty to Mustafa Ali and find a way to do so. Alright, that's fine. Moving on, Rosemary, she defeated a jobber by the name of Chris Stara, which is fine, I guess. Who cares? She had a butcher knife on her, that being Rosemary, which is fucking weird. She won via the as above, so below finish, which is pretty cool. Post-match, Rosemary exited the ring. She grabbed the bag, and she was going to straddle Christara. And then she crossed her arms, symbolizing another victim. So Ash By Elegance and George Iceman, a.k.a. the personal concierge, they looked on in horror from in the back. So that's fine. It seems like they could just feud Ash By Elegance and Rosemary together. And it seems like that's what they're going to do. So it is what it is. I forgot that Tasha Steelz is the new number one contender. She'll be taking on Jordynne Grace. I mean, you could do that at Emergence, but you could also do that on a random episode of TNA, if we're being honest. That's just me. But basically, all the TNA Plus shows going forward are just going to be B shows until Bound for Glory. So this is going to happen for the next, basically, 2.5 months. Moving on. So the System, they're lame asses. They're backstage. They all suck. So they describe themselves as a dream team, which they're not. Ugh. And they express their determination to get back on track. They seem confident and vowed to not rest until everyone, quote-unquote, trust the System again. Fuck the System. They've never mattered. They suck. Continuing on. So Mike Santana, he addressed the System, reminding them that there's still unfinished business between them. And then, just as he was trying to finish the rest of his promo, Champagne Singh, he barged in and he challenged Santana to a match. And Santana gave him a real mean look And he said, all right, cool, let's just go ahead and do it. So that's fine. Moving on, so Josh Alexander, he was scheduled to come out. He didn't. His music played. He refused to go to the ring. So Gia Miller, she found him backstage. She questioned him about his actions at Slammiversary. Josh Alexander states that he doesn't owe anyone explanation at all, making it clear that he doesn't care about anyone's opinion of himself. This makes perfect sense. I like what they're doing with Josh Alexander. I just wish that his wife could be like his mouthpiece, because she does good work being a ring announcer. That's why I wish that they would bring in Dasha Fuentes, who used to work for WWE and AEW. They need to bring her in instead of having, one ring announcer and one backstage interview. We need to bring in a couple people in that department. But Josh being a heel makes perfect sense. And it does seem to be catching on. He is getting a reaction. But I just think that it would be a lot better if his wife was with him, and that way she could be his mouthpiece. Because Josh will probably be gone from TNA in January. Because I remember earlier this year, when Scott D'Amore got let go, Josh Alexander was really upset about that and everything else, because Josh was being pushed by Scott D'Amore so much. He was actually shoved down our throats for about 1.5 to 2 years. And when Scott got let go earlier back in January, TNA just picked up Josh Alexander, even though he didn't really want to be there. But they still, chose to use him. And I think this is the best way to actually use him. So it does seem like they're going to feud Nic Nemeth and Josh Alexander. That's fine. So we'll see how it goes. Continuing on. So Frankie Kazarian, he defeated Ryan Nemeth, which is fine. Post-match, Josh Alexander, he came out and he hit the C4 spike on Ryan Nemeth, my bad, sending a message to Nic Nemeth. So they're going to have a feud. This is going to begin their feud at Emergence. So I think you could do a 3-match feud between Josh Alexander and Nic Nemeth. Bound for Glory, I don't know what you do with Josh going forward. And if Bound for Glory is overseas, you could do like a triple threat. You can do Josh Alexander, Nic Nemeth, and Joe Hendry. I don't see them turning Nic Nemeth heel for a while. I think he's going to be a babyface for a minute. So we'll see how it works out. But I am interested in Josh Alexander and Nic Nemeth. I think that should be kind of fun. Again, if Josh's wife was on his side and she was a heel too, and they had another ring announcer, I think that would be great for her to manage Josh Alexander. I think that would be really cool. That would be super cool. That would kick ass. Again, I'm not a fan of Josh Alexander, but him turning heel, it does make sense and it is understandable. So I am kind of interested in this feud and seeing how it's going to take shape. Moving on. So Ultimate X, that's coming back. It's making a comeback at Emergence. And qualifying matches are going to start next week. Interesting. So that's really cool there. Should be fun. Ultimate X has always been fun, basically. It's really cool. So we'll see what happens. Moving on. Jody Threat defeats Masha Slamovich. Alicia Edwards, lame ass. She comes out, gets involved. She puts the one of the Knockouts Tag Team Championship belts in the on the ring rope. Masha ran into it, and this allowed for Jody Threat to hit her finish for the 1, 2, 3, and she wins. This pissed me off because Masha Slamovich shouldn't be losing, but I see where they're going with this. I think what they might do is they'll probably have Masha and Alicia Edwards lose at Emergence to Spitfire, and then maybe we could see Killer Kelly return at Emergence and reunite with Masha, reforming MK Ultra, which would kick major fucking ass. Even though Killer Kelly is in a horror flick right now, I still think she could still fit into plans, because Masha Slamovich is going nowhere fast. I mean, the fact that she's saddled down by this sack of shit known as Alicia Edwards is awful. It's a travesty, and it sucks. But I get where they're going with all this. Continuing on, so Joe Hendry, he talks about his incredible run and his journey towards wanting to become the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And we saw clips from him being in NXT and all that. So that's cool. I do like this. I love what TNA is doing with Joe Hendry. But I would not be opposed of him going to a WWE. I could see TNA working out a deal with WWE, saying, hey, look, we'll let you guys have him, but let him finish out his contract for about a year, and then you guys can have him that way. So I think what they're going to do with Joe Hendry going forward is they're probably going to have him continue to work both NXT and TNA for the remainder of the year. Hopefully, by Bound for Glory, he can be the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I think that would be great. It makes perfect sense. I know some people online have said that he could potentially be the new guy to win the NXT Championship. I don't know how that will work out, but that would make sense, and that would get a lot of eyes on the product for TNA. But we'll have to see how that all plays out. But definitely by Bound for Glory, it should be Joe Hendry's time. He should definitely be world champion by that time. He's massively over. He's the most over guy on the TNA roster. He's massively over in NXT, and whenever he goes to the main roster with WWE, he's going to be a damn star. Again, I look at Joe Hendry as another version of Elias. He's got the charisma of Elias and LA Knight rolled up into one, and I love that. He's super good. Moving on, Mike Santana, he defeats Champagne Singh via the spin the block. Post-match, he gets on the mic, and he declared that he's still coming for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and he warned Moose that their issues are far from over, making it clear that he's targeting the system. Nice. Do I think Mike Santana will be world champion? I can't say right now. I can't. I do think he could be X Division champ for a while and maybe do like an option C. But now, in my opinion, it's not the time for him to be world champion. I definitely could see him being X Division champion. But as of right now, I would just continue to feud him with members of the system, and then I guess when the time is right, maybe give him a shot at the world title. But it's full right now. Having Nic Nemeth at the main event scene, and also Joe Hendry, Josh Alexander's there. You could slide Mike Santana in there, but we'll see how things work out when it comes to that. But Mike Santana is good as hell, and he's solid. Moving on, so the main event of the evening, Nic Nemeth, he defeated Mustafa Ali to retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. He won via the Danger Zone. Post-match, Josh Alexander, he appeared on stage with a grin on his face, and then he turned around and he left the Impact Zone. So that's fine. They are setting up Josh Alexander versus Nic Nemeth for Emergence. I'm fine with this. They got 4 weeks to to continue to build everything for the match, so that's more than enough time. And I do like this. Moving on, the wedding of PCO and Steph the Lander. Who cares about any of this? So Rana was involved. Xia Brookside was involved. Destoro was involved as well. So basically, they exchanged vows. So PCO pulled out a finger, claiming it belonged to his grandmother, and removed a ring from it. First class, they interrupted, stating that they aren't there to cause trouble, but to witness the freak show. Santana pronounced PCO and Steph the Lander husband and wife. And then, as they're about to kiss, Matt Cardona, he showed up. He attacked PCO and Santana with a cinder block disguised as a gift. Matt Cardona, he then pummeled PCO, and he held up both PCO's championships. Then he pleaded with Steph the Lander to leave with him, but she refused. And she flipped out on Matt Cardona, and she told him to leave. And she was crying and being consoled by Xia Brookside and others. And that's how the show ended. Who gives a shit? This is lame. This is a lame use of Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona could be in the world title picture, even though I'm not a fan of Even though I'm not a fan of Matt Cardona, he could still be in the title picture. But he's doing low mid-card bullshit, so it is what it is. But this is fine, I guess. But this should not have main evented the show. It should not. You could have done this at the top of not at the top of the card, but you could have done this definitely in the middle. And I would have been fine with it, but that being the last thing that we see, that's not good. But such is life. So TNA was okay. The emergence build is coming along fine. So it's going to be, Josh Alexander and Nic Nemeth. Mike Santana is probably going to be involved in something. Probably going to have moves in him at emergence as well. Spitfire and Monster Slamovich and Alicia Edwards. Jordan Grace will probably be in a triple threat match. Rosemary, Ash By Elegance, and Jordan Grace. So Slammiversary, my bad, not Slammiversary. Emergency seems to be shaping up nicely. But what did you guys think? What did you guys think of TNA? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.